Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 3 of our annual Christmas in July collaboration. So down in the description below you will find all the links to see what all the collaborators have done. Can't wait to see what's in store. Now let's start with our video. Hi guys, so I haven't finished all the pages. I've done a couple of cards, mainly ones that we've done together. I thought this was really cute, so I just put it like this. Ugh. This is a pocket. One mistake I've done is trying to use some scrap paper for this, because when you do something like this, the background needs to be nice and you can't have something like this. So I haven't finished the pages, and most of the ones made from this scrap paper I've left, maybe mainly with some nice envelopes on top. So what we're going to do now is the patchwork time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collage all over the pages with all of these papers. I have some brown paper, some just very simple textured paper. I also have these images, so they can be either plants or animals. And I also have these vintage images here that I thought would be nice. So I'm just gonna go grab my glue, my little paintbrush, and we're going to get started. So I'm just adding a little bit of water to some PVA glue. So it's just basic white glue. It's what I usually use when it's paper on paper, and it's what I recommend because it's cheapest. And now let's just grab our pages and start the process. So I'm just grabbing some pieces of paper and I'm just going to glue them everywhere. My idea is kind of hoping to hide this bucket in the middle, use some really nice plants or animals that I like. I've decided also on kind of a way to have everything on a page. So I've decided to have at least 2 pieces of this paper, or some other one with the writing on it, and at least 1 plant and 1 animal per page. So I'm just trying to do that and just go crazy, glue a lot of stuff down, and it's quite a really long process, but I think it's pretty necessary. So how are you guys today? How are you doing? What's the weather like where you are? In France here, it's so hot. Oh my god, so hot, it's unbelievable. It's really hard to make a Christmas journal in this weather. I just keep reminding myself that it's supposed to be like a light blue and white journal, because these are the kind of colors I've decided to work on, and like I just keep on moving towards reds and oranges, and I think it's a subconscious thing. It's pretty annoying. So I keep on having to just go back to light blues and dark blues and whites, and yeah, it's quite hard. But anyways, that's the kind of colors I've decided to work with on this journal, because it reminds me of Christmas and winter, and all the plants and animals that you will see that I've selected are quite like wintry or light blue and grays, and like there's only like pine trees and stuff like this. So they're all pretty wintry. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on these pages. I'm not going to bore you with a lot because it's really, this is what it is. There's not much more going on. And then we're going to move on to the next step, which I think you will like. Hi guys, this is day 2 for me. I stayed up until 2 a.m. last night. I'm a bit, dead, but I'm excited to start working on this. So I've just made a couple more pockets here because last night I completely forgot that I had all these papers with lots of colors and textures that I can add, and I have some more here and I have some vellum as well. So I made a few coin pockets with vellum and this beautiful paper that Lisa sent me. If you are interested in a little tutorial on how to make vellum pockets, I have that. I will put it up on the video somewhere. And I've just made these, so I just flipped here 1 centimeter from the border, 1.5 for the bottom, just to be safe. And now I'm going to use my little coin, well, this. And I'm just eyeballing the center. There. So this is what I finished up with last night. I'm almost done with all the patchwork, but as you can see there's not a lot of color. So that's what I'm gonna do right now with the papers I just showed you here. I'm just gonna add a little bit of colors, and I'm gonna add these pockets that I've just cut, and finish off some of the other pockets as well, and continue adding some of these images as well. So for this journal, I've decided to add different kinds of pockets per page. So I want a real variety. So I wanted for every single double page to have every kind of pocket possible. So there's these ones that are with the flowers and stuff. There's the envelopes, like this one as well. And there's the vellum pockets that I've made. I wanted each double page to have one of those to make sure that there's a lot of variety in my journal. I also wanted to have these cards, so if you've watched our previous video, previous tutorial, then you know now how to use envelopes and windows in the envelopes, or how to make your own windows and envelopes to be able to see those cards. I have also mentioned previously that you can use vellum as like acrylic paper to make the pockets, so this is what we're doing right here. There's also vellum with colors, and I will be using it later on, and I've just loved doing that as well. So what we're doing here, we're just going to use our little puncher here to make a pocket that's gonna be really pretty. I'm so happy I didn't forget how to use this, because I always forget it, that I have it and I never use it. So we're just folding the sides like so. I'm doing a 1 centimeter fold on each side. Then we're just going to put glue, and we're just going to glue it on our page, very simply. This adds a nice touch of color. It's also quite crisp and dark in a very light journal where it's going to be a little bit of mayhem. Let's just call it what it is. So it's going to be quite nice, I think. Now we're going to add a little bit of color on our pages. So I've selected these sheets of paper that I really like. They kind of remind me of winter. I really like these with the gold and silver accents. I think they will look really, really cool. I'm using here my favorite tool, which is a little ruler that helps to just tear up the paper. It doesn't look like it's, you know, very straight, so I really like using it. And I'm just going to tear up little pieces, and I'm just gonna add them into our mood board of patchwork. And again, as usual, I'm going to try to have a little bit of each on every single page to have a lot of variety. As I do that, I am thinking about the color that I want on my pages. So some pages I will put this more cyan color, and on other pages I will put a more ultramarine or darker blue. I also add a little bit of whites and other colors. And I think about the color combination that each page is going to have. And I've selected a couple more animals and plants because I thought there just wasn't enough in this journal. So I'm cutting up a lot of them over here. If needed, I'm using precise cutter and also my tiny scissors. And I'm just fussy cutting everything and gluing it. Hey guys! Alright, so I think this part is over. The next step is texture. The idea is to add texture. For this, I made some texture paste. Texture paste is literally just some flour, a little bit of glue, and some white paint, acrylic paint. Then I have this crackling medium. It didn't work so well last time I used it, but you know, it's just in my stuff, so might as well just use it. And one of my favorites is using paper towels. I think they look really good, especially because they're transparent. They really grab the paint, and you know, when you put it on very straight edges, a bit crunched up like this, you can't see the straight edge anymore. So if you don't like straight edges, this is really difficult to say, use this. To glue this, we're going to use this. I have no idea how you call this in English. Okay, it's multi-effect binding gel. The idea is for this to use, and the paint still goes on top after, because if you use glue, sometimes glue is waterproof, which helps, you know, glue stuff. So this helps with the paint just work afterwards. Then I got this paper that I really loved, that Lisa put all her stuff in it. So I'm gonna be using this as well. And of course, with the texture paste, I have all of my stencils. And the stencils we can also use afterwards with ink. But for now, it's just about texture. So I'm just gonna go and choose some of these that I like. Of course, I'm gonna try to stay in a nature theme, not go too crazy. And I have a lot of really like just full texture. Like for example, I'm not gonna use this mathematics thing, but I will definitely use this one. Can't wait. Okay, and I might have to make some more, so we'll see about that later. All right, let's start with choosing these. One thing I need to mention, this needs to dry. So this is why I've kept the pages like this. Otherwise, imagine if all the pages are like this, it's just a mess. So I'm keeping the pages simple for as long as I can, and then I will just turn them around and do some on the other side. And as usual, I just try not to use always the same ones and have different ones every single time, just because I'm crazy. And this is definitely a bit old. I mean, you can see it crackle and stuff, but I don't care because my idea is just to create texture. So this is fine. Okay, guys, this is like maybe a year old, maybe. So yeah, it's not usually like this. And then I just wash these with water when I'm finished. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of flour because it's all clumped up. Okay, let's just try this texture and see if we want to change it. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. Also, to do this, you need space. I mean, the pages are already covering up my whole table. And soon it's gonna cover up my entire floor. But that's okay. It's fun. If you're a bit crazy like me and you don't want stencils to be the same on each side of your page, make sure you have a look before you apply your texture paste. Now let's move on to the napkin technique. So I'm just using a paintbrush. And I'm using the gel as glue, like simple. Nothing fancy or anything. And one thing I will say that I think is important is to have not straight edges. Just rip it apart. And also there's usually more than one layer of tissue paper, so make sure you just grab one layer and then you just glue it wherever you want. Okay, so I've put some texture paste and some napkins a bit everywhere to add a lot of texture. And now it's time to put some gesso. Gesso is a medium that you put usually underneath, so it's like a primer. My gesso is not very good, it's pretty cheap. If you buy gesso, do buy good quality. This is pretty useless. I have to do like multiple layers, so might as well just spend a little bit of money and just buy a good one from the start. I'm hoping that I don't have too much left, but I'm gonna have to use it for a while. So here I've put some gesso. I've added some white paint in my case because I wanted it to be a bit thicker and cover up. And what we're going to do, you can use your fingers, you can use your paintbrush, you can use pretty much anything you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint. We're going to cover up all the space between your patchwork bits and also between the images and your patchwork bit. And this is going to create this link between each other. So as you can see, my gesso is very transparent. So I will have to do a couple of layers, maybe even more. But yeah, this is basically what we're going to do. Trust the process. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but then we're gonna go over with watercolors and it's gonna look amazing. Trust me. Of course, if you feel like you need more animals, more nature, more of anything, at any time you can just go and glue more stuff or add anything you want. There's, you know, that's not a problem at all. Alright guys, so this is the last of the processes before the watercolors. So we're going to stop the video right here and I can't wait to see you guys for the next part, which is watercoloring our pages. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my work and I will see you really soon. Bye guys!